Breaking Free, A Sage's Guide to Escaping the Negative Loop. An audio article by the Old Sage. My dear friend, I can sense the weight you carry. You've come to me because you're trapped in a circle that feels endless. Failure leading to disappointment, disappointment breeding grief, grief igniting anger, and anger setting the stage for yet another failure. Round and round you go, like a moth circling a flame, never quite understanding that the very thing drawing you in is what burns you. I've walked this path myself, many years ago. I've watched countless souls struggle with this same prison, and I'm here to tell you something that might surprise you. The key to your freedom has been in your hands all along. You've simply forgotten how to use it. The ancient truth. Let me share with you what I've learned after decades of study, meditation, and yes, my own failures. The cycle you're trapped in isn't made of iron chains or stone walls. It's woven from threads of thought, and what is woven can be unwoven. What is built in the mind can be rebuilt by the mind. You see, my friend, most people believe they are victims of their thoughts. They think thoughts simply happen to them, like weather. Unpredictable, uncontrollable forces that sweep through their consciousness. But this is the great illusion. You are not the victim of your thoughts. You are their creator, their director, their master, if you choose to be. Understanding the loop. Before we can break free, we must understand our prison. The negative loop operates on a simple but devastating principle. Each thought creates an emotion. Each emotion influences your actions, and each action produces results that seem to confirm your worst fears about yourself. When you fail at something, your mind immediately begins to construct a story. I'm not good enough, it whispers. I always mess things up. Why did I even try? These thoughts generate feelings of disappointment and sadness. From this emotional state, you act, or rather, you fail to act with the confidence and clarity needed for success. The inevitable result? Another failure. Another confirmation that the story your mind tells is true. But here's what I've discovered. The story is just that, a story. And stories can be rewritten. The power you've always possessed. Your mind is not a wild horse that cannot be tamed. It is the most sophisticated tool in the universe, capable of creation and destruction in equal measure. Right now, you're using this incredible instrument to build your prison. But you can just as easily use it to construct your freedom. I remember the moment I first realized this. I was sitting by a river, watching the water flow. The same water that could carve through solid rock over time was also gentle enough to nurture the flowers along its banks. The difference wasn't in the water itself, but in how it was directed. Your thoughts are like this water. When allowed to flow chaotically, they erode your confidence and carve channels of negativity that become deeper with each passing day. But when directed with intention and wisdom, these same thoughts can nourish growth, creativity, and profound inner peace. The art of mental alchemy. Now let me teach you the first principle of mental alchemy, the ancient art of transforming the lead of negative thinking into the gold of empowered consciousness. Awareness is your first tool. Most people are unconscious of their thoughts. They live in a constant stream of mental chatter without ever stepping back to observe it. But you must become the witness of your own mind. When you catch yourself in the spiral, when you notice that familiar voice saying, "Here we go again," or "I knew this would happen," pause. Simply pause. In that pause, you reclaim your power. You step out of the automatic reaction and into conscious choice. The second tool is the gentle redirect. You don't fight negative thoughts. That only gives them more energy. Instead, you acknowledge them like old acquaintances. Ah, there's that familiar doubt again. I see you, I hear you, but I'm going to think about something else now. Then, and this is crucial, you deliberately choose a different thought. Not necessarily a positive one at first, just a different one. Maybe you notice the sensation of your breath, or the sound of birds outside, or you recall a moment when you felt capable and strong. The practice of mental gardening. Think of your mind as a garden. For too long, you've allowed weeds to grow unchecked. The negative thoughts have taken root and spread, choking out the flowers of possibility and hope. But every master gardener knows that transformation doesn't happen overnight. You don't have to uproot every weed at once. Start small. Each morning, plant one positive intention. Each evening, water it with reflection on something you did well that day, no matter how small. When you notice weeds of negative thinking, don't judge yourself for their presence. Simply remove them gently and plant something else in their place. I've seen people transform their entire inner landscape using this simple practice. Where once there was barren soil and thorny self-doubt, gardens of confidence and creativity began to bloom. To strengthen your story. Here's something else I want you to understand. The very struggles that have brought you to this moment are not your weakness. They are your secret strength. Every time you've fallen and gotten back up, every moment you've endured when giving up seemed easier, every day you've continued breathing despite the weight of disappointment, these are not signs of failure. They are evidence of an indomitable spirit within you. The negative loop has taught you something invaluable. You are stronger than you know. If you can survive your worst thoughts, if you can endure the heaviest emotions, then you certainly have the strength to direct them towards something better. The daily revolution, breaking free from the negative loop, isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. A quiet revolution you stage in the privacy of your own consciousness. Each morning, you wake up and choose which general to follow, the one that leads you deeper into the familiar territory of limitation, or the one that guides you toward uncharted lands of possibility. Some days you'll choose poorly. That's not failure, that's being human. The victory isn't in never falling back into old patterns. It's in recognizing them more quickly each time and knowing you have the power to step out of them. Your true nature. Let me tell you something that perhaps no one has ever told you. Your natural state is not struggle. Your default setting is not suffering. Beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the accumulated disappointments and learned helplessness, there is a part of you that is inherently whole, inherently capable, inherently worthy. The negative loop is like a storm on the surface of a deep lake. No matter how violent the waves above, the depths remain calm and undisturbed. This is your true nature, serene, powerful, unshakable. The practice is not to become something you're not, but to remember what you've always been. The ripple effect. As you begin to master your inner world, something beautiful will happen. Your transformed thinking will begin to change your actions. Your new actions will create different results. And these results will serve as evidence to your mind that yes, you are indeed capable of creating the life you desire. But more than that, your transformation will ripple outward. Others will sense the change in you, the quiet confidence, the inner peace, the sense of possibility that emanates from someone who has learned to direct their own thoughts. You'll become a beacon for others trapped in their own negative loops, showing them by your very presence that freedom is possible. The choice before you. And so, my dear friend, I leave you with this. You stand at a crossroads. Behind you lies the familiar path of the negative loop, well-traveled, predictable, and ultimately leading nowhere, but back to where you started. Before you lies another path, less certain, requiring courage and practice, but leading to a life of genuine empowerment and peace. The choice is yours, and it's a choice you'll make not once, but many times each day. Each moment of awareness, each gentle redirect of thought, each small act of self-compassion is a step toward freedom. Remember, you have the most powerful tool in the universe residing between your ears. You've simply been using it unconsciously, allowing it to run wild like an untrained apprentice. But you are not the apprentice, you are the master. It's time to reclaim your birthright. The negative loop ends the moment you decide it ends. Not when circumstances change, not when others treat you differently, not when the world becomes easier. It ends when you remember who you really are and begin to think, act, and live from that truth. Your freedom awaits, and it has been waiting for you all along. Go well, dear friend. Trust in your power. The sage within you already knows the way.